We're gonna talk about Leucippus, Democritus, and Aristotle and their atomic theories. Our team is conformed by Metz, Pamela, Regina, and Lisabi. Aristotle was an ancient Greek philosopher. He was born in circa 384 before Christ. When he turned 17, he enrolled in Plato's academy. In 338 after Christ, he began tutoring Alexander the Great. In 335, Aristotle founded his own school, the Lyceum in Athens, where he spent the rest of his life studying, teaching, and writing. Aristotle died in 322 after Christ. He left Athens and fled to Chalcis, although Aristotle was not technically a scientist by today's definitions, but science was amongst the subjects that he researched. Aristotle believed that the knowledge could be obtained through their interacting with physical objects. He concluded that objects were made up of a potential that circumstances then manipulated to determine the object's outcome. He also recognized that human interpretation and personal associations played a role in our understanding of those objects.
Hi, I'm Aristotle. Well, I didn't do any scientific experiment, but I can explain you what I believe. There are objects of different weight settled at different layers relative to the center of the earth. The relative proportion of the four elements composing an object determines its weight. Here is my model. As you can see, there is fire, air, earth, and water. Water is cold and wet. This corresponds to liquid. Air is hot and wet. This corresponds to the modern idea of gas. Fire is hot and dry. This corresponds to the modern idea of plasma and heat. And finally, earth. Earth is cold and dry.
Leucippus was one of the earliest Greeks to develop the theory of atomism, which was the idea that everything is composed entirely of various imperishable and divisible elements called atoms, which was elaborated in greater detail by his pupil, Democritus. According to this atomism, if you take a piece of wood and then cut it into two equal parts, then do it continuously, eventually you will find a part that you can't cut. This smallest part is the atom. A possible earlier candidate for atomism is Machus of Sidon from the Trojan War era. Democritus was most likely born in Miletus, although Abdera and Elea are also mentioned as possible birthplaces.
Hello, my name is Leucippus. I had the idea that everything is composed entirely of various imperishable, indivisible elements called atoms. I also created the theory that the universe consists of two different elements, which I call the full or solid and the empty or void. Both void and solid atoms within it are thought to be infinite, and between them to constitute the elements of everything.
Democritus was a Greek natural philosopher. He promulgated the atomic theory, which asserted that the universe is composed of two elements, the atoms and the void in which they exist and move. Democritus was born in Abdera, the leading Greek city on the northern coast of the Aegean Sea. Although the ancient accounts of Democritus' career differed widely, they all agree that he lived to a ripe old age, 90 being the lowest figure. During that long career, Democritus wrote many books. Little Cosmology, a veritable encyclopedia, has perished because its contents displaced those, such as the philosopher Plato, whose decisions determine which work should be preserved. Of all of Democritus' many-sided interests, his espousal of the atomic theory accounts for his renown and also for the disappearance of the treatise which won him that renown.
I think that all matter consists of invisible particles called atoms. This is my atomic model of an atom. Atoms are indestructible. Atoms are solid but invisible. Atoms differ in size, shape, mass, position, and arrangement. Solids are made of small pointy atoms. Liquids are made of large round atoms. Oils are made of very fine small atoms that can easily slip past each other.